Welcome back to another deep dive with Derek. I'm your host, Derek. My friends call me D-Rock, here with another Phish reaction. You want to jump right in? You know where they are. Timestamps are in the description. If you're new here, I'd like to personally welcome you to the channel. On this channel, I take a deep dive into music that I've missed. Music that I should have listened to for many, many years and just haven't. So, hence, Phish. So if you want to follow along, go ahead and subscribe. There's a lot of back catalog, a lot of songs that I've already listened to. You can check those out. If you've been here before, thanks for your support. I don't run any ads on these videos, and for several reasons. I think the attention and ad model is largely responsible for a lot of what might be wrong with society, say. So I prefer a one-on-one relationship with my audience. So if you want to support the channel, you don't have to, but if you want to support the channel, you can find links in the description. You can buy me a beer. You can support me with micro donations. There might be a thanks button down below here. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Those are ways that if you feel like you want to support the channel, you can do that there. So I'm going to jump into a full album, cover to cover, of Billy Breathes. This is an album that many people have said is their favorite Phish album, which is interesting because on one side of people's mouths, they say never listen to Studio Phish. On the other side of their mouth, they say Billy Breathes is my favorite album, which those both can't be true at the same time. Never listen to Studio, but also if you listen to Studio, listen to this one. This one ranks up there with Rift. Some people said Hoist, and then there's another one that people really recommended. I think it's called Ghost, or Story of Ghost, or something like that. So that'll be the next album that I check out. But Billy Breathes, we're going to jump right in. And first I have to say, it's possible that this has been played before in the background, or maybe I put it on years ago when I was trying to get into Phish, but I don't remember anything of it. At least I don't right now. I might come back as I listen to it. Second thing I got to say is this is the most absurd album cover I've ever seen in my life. But let's get right in. Let's go into Free. Here we go. Seriously though, if this came out in, what did I see? 96? 95, 96? So I'm 16 years old, learning to drive. I go to the record store, CD store, or maybe it was even tapes. What was I getting in 96? A tape or a CD, and I see this. I'm not buying this. This is the most ugly, fat person with the hugest nose. Is this Billy? Whoever Billy is, this is absurd. God, look at the size of that nose. I'll get off of this in a second. Although now that I say this can't be. Some people have said Mike shoved his face. Is this Mike? Because now I think I heard, or I remember somebody saying Mike shoved his face onto a photocopier. And now I can kind of see that, which might be why it looks so big. But it doesn't, I'll get off that. I won't talk about the album cover ever again. Here we go. Billy Breathes. Or Free.
I'm floating in the blimp a lot. I feel the feeling I forgot. We're swimming weightless in the womb. We're bouncing gently around the room. In a minute I'll...
Bouncing gently around the room? Is that a callback to Bouncing Around the Room? That time, then, and once again? Or is that just a coincidence? He say swimming in the womb.
We're bouncing gently around the room. In a minute I'll be free, and you'll be splashing in the sea.
Gross. Is this a song about childbirth? Swimming in the room. Pretty soon he's going to be free, splashing about.
Be splashing in the sea. I feel no curiosity. I see the path ahead of me. waves splashing in the sea. We'll hear a tiny cry as the ship goes sliding by. Free.
This chorus does have a little tinge of familiarity to it. It really sounds familiar. Was this ever been on the radio? I know they didn't have a lot of releases, but that chorus really sounds familiar to me. It does have some mid-90s feel to it. Like a little bit of that alternative mixed in there. This is crazy. Cool, Phil. That one had a chill feel to it, and there was this familiarity cutting through me. Like I feel like that chorus was familiar to me. Anyway, it sounded like a song about childbirth. I'm floating in the womb, floating in the blimp, I think he said. Pretty soon I'll be free, and I've got no curiosities. Maybe kind of the innocence of birth. You're just a clean slate, a blank slate. Although that's being debated. Are we blank slates or not? Is it nature? Is it nurture? Who knows? But the way he described it, I have no curiosity. You got to learn your curiosity. But I loved the feel to it, and that was a really sweet chorus. And I liked how it's called free, but you could really not even tell, or I couldn't really tell that he was saying free. It was just sounds free. So it was just that E sound, but he sustained it and it relaxed me. Okay, so character 0 is next. I'll be back with character 0. Okay, I'm back with character 0. Now, if I'm not mistaken, character 0 is a song that I've seen. I don't know if it's been recommended by you all as a song that I need to see live. I think it has. But I also am pretty sure it's popped up on YouTube. Live character 0, I think. But for some reason, the title of this does have some familiarity to it. So let's jump in. Character 0. Little
I
country.
was taught a month ago to bide my time and take it slow.
Sounds like a dude who's just chilling alone in a room and just dicking around on his guitar. I can picture it. He's like in a hotel room, sitting up, knees up on the bed, little guitar tune, sing a little bit. Little guitar, sing a little bit.
I was taught a month ago to bide my time and take it slow. But then I learned just yesterday to rush and never waste the day.
I learned to take it slow, and then I also learned that I need to rush. So, like, be careful who you take advice from, because if you ask 10 people for advice, you're going to get 10 different opinions on what you should do. And by the way, most of those people don't know anything about you. There's a saying in the world of psychology, therapy even, that you're the expert in yourself. So all these people around you giving advice, telling you to take it slow, they don't know anything about you. And those people telling you to take it fast, they don't know anything about you either. So you're going to see conflicting advice all over the place.
Now I'm convinced the whole day long that all I learn is always wrong.
Exactly. That's not true, though. It's not always wrong. It's just a perspective. But it's easy to think, if I learned this and then I learned that, then that must be wrong. But maybe the new thing's wrong. Or maybe both of them are wrong. Or maybe both of them are right in different situations. That's what happens or what can happen when we put too much emphasis on the opinions of others.
That all I learn is always wrong. And things are true that I forget. But no one taught that to me yet.
How do you know it then? Some things are true that you forget. Obviously, that's true. Nobody taught it to me yet. And so it almost like, am I quick to dismiss my own things that I learn on my own? Stuff that I learned through my own ways. Almost like a low self-esteem song.
But no one taught that to me yet.
Okay, here we go. I can't pick up what he's saying. I've got to see the man all day. Still don't know what he's saying. Here we go. And I'll let the end of that run without pausing it. Just make it copyright striked. But I like the end of that. It was another second one in a row. Really catchy chorus. And it took me back to the 90s. So there, both of these songs, Free, Character Zero, had this way of transporting me into the 90s, which is when this came out. So anyway, that was pretty good. What are they saying? I can look this up. I'll look it up later. But I couldn't catch up what he was. I have to see the man all day. That's what I was hearing. But I'm probably wrong. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna get what's next. Waste. We're gonna check out Waste. We'll be back soon with it. Okay, here I got Waste. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a lyric in that last line. Don't waste the day. Rush and don't waste the day away or something like that. So I'm curious if that's a tie into this song or not, but let's jump right in. We got Phish, Waste, studio version.
Don't wanna be an actor pretending on the stage. Don't wanna be a writer with my thoughts out on the page. Don't wanna be a painter, 'cause everyone comes to look. Don't wanna be anything where my life's an open book.
Interesting. So he doesn't want to make himself vulnerable. He doesn't want to act. That's like pretending. It's art. But he also doesn't want to write because he doesn't want to put his thoughts on a page, but he is a writer. He writes songs. He doesn't want to paint because everybody's going to come look at it, but he does songs. Everybody comes to listen to it. And then he doesn't want to do anything where his life's an open book, but he kind of lives under a microscope. So either this is contradictory, maybe possibly intentionally, or this is written from the perspective of somebody else.
A dream, it's true, but I'd see it through if I could be wasting my time with you.
Ooh, I like that. I could be wasting my time with you. I don't know if I like the word waste, because if you're spending time with somebody, it's quite by definition not wasted time. And the philosophical part of me is saying that you could argue that no time is wasted time. But I've got this time. I've got some finite number of time. I've got a few dozen years left around the sun, and then I'm dead. So while I'm here, I've got this much time, and can I waste some of this time with you? It's I'm putting an existential spin on it, but I think it feels like that's how he meant it. That's why he's using the word waste. He's not saying spend time with you. He's not saying enjoy time with you. He's saying waste time with you. That's an interesting way to put it.
With you. Don't wanna be a farmer working in the sun.
Yeah, but he says outdoor festivals.
Wanna be an outlaw, always on the run.
Travel city to city.
Wanna be a climber, reaching for the top. Don't wanna be anything where I don't know when to stop.
So it seems like he's a lot of these things. I'm kind of painting it into a picture of he is these things. Climber reaching the top. How many of you, if you're watching this, of course, you're biased, but how many people say this is the best live band? They've reached the top of live band level status. I don't want to do anything where I don't know when to stop. That one caught me because though I haven't researched this, many of you have told me he got into the drugs, became addicted to all kinds of drugs, had this meltdown, the Coventry thing. Everybody talks about the Coventry thing. And then everybody thought that it was it. Phish was going to be dead. Trey was going to be dead. No more Phish, no more shows. And then he sobered up and came back. And then they did that. What did they start off with? Fluffhead. They opened up with. So he doesn't want to do anything that he doesn't know when to stop, which that's drugs, right?
A dream, it's true, but I'd see it through if I could be wasting my time with you. So if I'm inside your head, don't believe what you might have read. You'll see what I might have said. To hear it, come waste your time with me. Come waste your time with me. So if I'm inside your head, don't believe what you might have read. You'll see what I might have said. To hear it, come waste your time with me.
This album, these first three songs at least, it feels a lot more intentional. I don't know. It feels more, I don't know. There's a word. There is a way to describe this. Other albums, maybe riffed aside, but it just felt like a collection of songs. And I'm not saying this is a concept album because Rift was a concept album. It was the guy fell asleep and he had the dreams and he woke up. But these songs kind of feel like, I don't know. I'm struggling to figure it out. But this album, or at least these first three songs, they just feel different than the other ones so far.
Come waste your time with me. Come waste your
think I might be closer to articulating what I'm trying to say. One of you said the Studio Phish. Before this, many of you said the hell with Studio Phish, waste of time, don't do it. But some people said, well, Studio Phish is fine. It's just like a different version of their live songs, and that's an interesting way to put it. It's like a version of the live song. This actually sounds like studio music. So I'm pretty curious now to go check out some of these live versions. But these first three songs, I guess I could be wrong about how the rest of this album shapes out, but this actually feels like it's been produced as a studio album, studio songs on an album, rather than just some different version of their live song. I'm going to keep tinkering with that, but I think there might be something.
Come waste your time with me. Come waste your time with me. Come waste your time with me. Come waste your time.
Okay, I like that one. That was a really chill song. It was mellow, but mellowness aside, it still had that cool Phish jam. I don't know. Is jam? Jam gives me like the sense of this hardcore stuff, but they had this like solo part, the musical or instrumental bit that was just really, really solid. So, I mean, we're 3 for 3 on this album. I like all three of these songs so far. So we're going to cut it here for part 1. I'll see you here with part 2, where we're going to start with Taste. Waste and then Taste. But Taste is next.